back to another episode of Kdrama Weekly.
At Kdrama Weekly, we love our K-dramas and bring you reviews and discussions of a different South Korean drama or film every week.
Oh, that's right. Each week we dive into major plot points, character development, and arcs in each drama/film. We also try and provide some cultural context to common themes using the knowledge we've gained as K-drama stands.
Yeah! I'm your host, Sandra, and as you heard, I'm joined by my co-hosts, Benner and Valerie.
Yeah.
This episode, we'll be discussing the amazing 2020 drama, Psycho But It's Okay.
First recent drama.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yes. Yep. This is your one and only spoiler warning, as always. If you haven't watched Psycho But It's Okay yet, go do so before you come back and listen, because we'll be spoiling all major plot points during our recap / plot discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benner, give us a summary.
Alright, so Psycho But It's Okay is about So Psycho But It's Okay is about these three individuals. There's Gangtae and Sangtae, brothers who have been together since they were young. They've been on their own. Gangtae has been taking care of his autistic brother Sangtae, and they end up what's it called? They end up running into a childhood. I wouldn't really call her friend, cause Gangtae knew her, but he just like followed her around when he was younger. I guess he liked her. Kwon Moon-young, she is a famous child book writer.
A famous author.
Yeah, that's I forgot the name. She is a famous children's book author. And so Sangtae loves her. And so they end up meeting again as they're older, and Ko Moon-young becomes obsessed with Gangtae, and she is supposedly suffering from antisocial personality disorder, and so she's just really impulsive and stuff, and it's just the drama is just following their story and how their pasts were
how their past shaped their mental states.
And then there's secrets, there's death and murder, because it's not a drama without death and murder.
You're right.
Yep.
Wow, I mean, some dramas don't have murder, but
there is death.
Some dramas don't have death.
Yeah.
You know what? Most have death and murder, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we see like a bunch of different mental health disorders throughout the drama, which is great too.
Yeah, because you forgot to mention that Gangtae is a caregiver, basically a nurse.
Yes.
At a psychiatric
he is a
hospital.
mental health technician.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, Valerie.
Okay.
Take us through the plot.
I have information.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Tell us about the drama first, and then take us through the plot.
So, Psycho But It's Okay, aka It's Okay to Not Be Okay.
Which is a dumb name in my opinion.
Yeah.
The literal translation from Korean to English is Psycho But It's Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So, it's a 2020 TV and drama created by Studio Dragon. It's written by Jo Young, directed by Park Shin-woo, and it stars Kim Soo-hyun, So Ye-ji, Oh Jung-se, and Park Kyu-young.
Yeah! Kim Soo-hyun!
So Ye-jin! So Ye-jin! Wait, I'm sorry. So Ye-ji! Oh, her name is so similar to Son. What's her name?
Wow.
You
that
can't
actress
even know.
from
You
Crash
don't even
Land.
know. Oh yeah.
The Crash Landing drama.
Anyways.
She's still pretty good, but not as good.
I've never seen her in anything.
I haven't either.
I
But
saw her in that Crash
anyways,
Landing
continue
one.
on.
So yes, the screenwriter She based the drama on her love story with a man who had a personality disorder.
That's great. Yes, I
Yeah,
knew about
apparently.
that.
Oh, I
I
did not
did
know
not.
about that.
Yeah,
K-drama Twitter gives you info, guys.
Freaking
I
K-drama
don't go
Twitter.
onto K-drama Twitter.
It's too
But,
intense for me sometimes.
when
does
she
get
when
too
she was
intense.
writing Sante's character, she listened to stories of people who have autistic brothers, and she also referred to books recommended by the CEO of a social enterprise where people with developmental disabilities work.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Like people with developmental disabilities.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what it said.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your mic
She
is
also
far
wrote the
away.
5 fairy tales that were featured in the drama.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool.
They were
man.
later published.
Yes.
Good.
They also published
You
like
can buy those.
yeah. So the drama, like the script was published in two books. Each had 8 episodes.
Oh yeah.
2 books?
Yeah, you can get the
Oh.
script.
I want the script.
It would be cool to see the script.
It would be cool, even though I probably wouldn't be able to read it, but you know.
I don't know if it's like written in the script layout or like a book.
Ooh, script layout.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, it'd be cool.
Yeah. Anyways, so Moonyoung's outfits, you know how they're all fancy and stuff?
Yep.
Well, they were made to look like to be
Gothic.
matching. No, the fairy tale concept.
Ah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because each
Makes sense.
episode is, or a lot of the episodes are based off of either the fairy tales that are supposed to be Gomunyon's characters or Grimm's fairy tales or
Yeah.
other like well-known fairy tales.
Yes. And so, although the drama had average ratings like on TVN, like from people watching it
On TV.
it was like
Super popular.
yeah, it was still super popular. It did really well on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most popular show of 2020 on Netflix in Korea in the romance genre. And it was also it did really well in other countries. But we won't get into that because it's way too much.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It was like really popular
Oh.
in a bunch of other countries.
Oh, you mean like which countries it was popular in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all people need to know, anyways.
And even though it had those average ratings, it still made it into the highest rated dramas on cable television at number 38.
Oh,
Man, it
That's
should have been
sad.
higher.
I mean, it was still pretty good.
yeah. Well, and to be fair, most people are going away from watching like live TV
That's
nowadays,
true.
and
Yeah.
streaming is more popular, so that makes sense.
That's why it
Yeah.
did so well on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It also won a bunch of awards, and award season isn't over yet.
More to come.
Mhm.
What has it won?
It won a bunch of them. I didn't really see, but the biggest one was Kim Soo Hyun winning the Daesang at the Asian Artist Awards.
As he should.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, cool. Now get into the plot.
Okay. Well,
Plot
So-
times.
it starts with Kim Soo Hyun at another place. He's working somewhere else.
Yeah, he's working in Seoul.
Yes. But he ends up getting kicked out because of the incident where Moonyoung comes and she stabs him in the hand.
Yeah, because there's this patient, right?
Yeah, I think he was a patient.
Yeah, patient tried to kill her.
He was brought in there because he tried to kill his daughter and then he
And
tried to
himself.
kill himself.
Familicide.
Yeah, and then he caused a ruckus. He escaped and he tried looking for his daughter. At the same time that Komunyon was having a book reading.
Ah, yes, for the children there.
Yes.
And so then he like finds her, like the patient finds his daughter and he's about to like kill her, but Komunyon steps in, and then
He gets huffy.
Yeah, he gets real huffy.
Yep.
But then, what's his face comes in?
Kim Soo
Gangtae.
Hyun. Oh wow.
Gangtae.
Yeah, Gangtae.
When Gangtae comes in, and then she like stabs his hand.
Well, she's gonna stab the patient, but
Yeah.
he steps in.
He does the usual grabbing the knife.
Ooh, I can't.
I
don't know why
can't
people do
either.
that.
Same.
Oh,
No.
I would never.
I would never use
Same.
I'd smack him instead.
Yeah, you're right. Anyways, continue on, Battery.
Wait, yeah. He ends up getting kicked out because they need to blame someone.
Yeah.
And he's
It's
like,
kinda
"Well, it's
dumb.
fine. I was gonna move anyways."
Yeah.
Because him and Sangtae, his brother, and their friend Jesu, who's like tagging along, they move all the time.
Yeah.
Like in the spring, he said.
Yeah, in the
Yes.
spring.
Because
And then
Kangtae, that's
butterflies
when
come out.
the butterflies come out, and that's when Sangtae freaks out because of the butterflies.
Yeah, which at first we don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
then later it's explained to us.
Oh shoot.
Well, he gets a job in the countryside in their hometown, which is also where Moonyoung is from.
I think
Yes.
it's called like Sojin or something.
Yeah, Sojin City.
I don't know, but they go there, and Moonyoung follows them there because she's become obsessed with Kangtae.
Yeah,
She wants him.
she
does
does.
want him.
And she's not shy about letting him know that she wants him.
Nope.
And it horrifies everybody
Yep.
because she got no filter.
She has no impulse control.
Indeed.
Oh, it's Sejong.
Sejong?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it might be a fictional city.
Maybe.
Anyways.
But yeah, they move back there, and then she moves there. Also, before they moved, they caused a scene, ruckus at Moonyoung's
Book
fan
signing.
signing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because someone touched
Gangtae's hair.
Kangtae's hair. They like pulled it, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that guy's kid had like a dinosaur onesie on, like a costume, and Sangtae thought that he was a real dinosaur, and he started like nerding out about stegosauruses. And of course, these people don't know that he is autistic, but it was kind of Gangtae's fault for leaving him there by himself with so many stimuli around.
Yeah.
And so they just assumed that he was crazy.
Or like a pedo.
Yeah, and so that's why he got his hair pulled, and he's like sensitive to people touching his hair.
Yes. So he freaked out, and then Moonyoung steps in, and she defends Sangtae.
Yeah.
But
she goes pulling hair too.
Yeah,
she pulls the guy's hair.
And
she
calling
swears
people
it all.
crazy.
Yeah. So then,
well, because the guy's wife said that he was crazy, and she asked them, why are you calling him crazy? And she's like, well, he's just speaking nonsense. And Go Moon-young was like, you crazy bitch. And the lady was like, what? And she's like, oh, well, you were just speaking a bunch of nonsense, so I assumed you were crazy.
Yep.
Which was great.
Yes. So
one of my favorite scenes.
Right? So people recorded it and then posted it online, so now everyone hates Go Moon-young.
Yeah, she's having a scandal.
So she moves away, and then her CEO's freaking out because she's like, why are you moving away? There's no time for this.
Yeah. Poor CEO is very stressed.
Yes.
Yeah, he has to keep paying people off so they don't cause
He
issues
tries to
and
pay
gossip.
Kangtae off when she stabs him, but he refuses it.
Yeah.
But anyways, so she moves there, and she starts working at the same place that Kangtae's working. She starts working
at the
there,
hospital.
yes, as a literature teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because her father, who has some mental issues as well, he is at that hospital, and so because she hasn't been coming to like pay him any visits or anything, they tell her that she has to, they'll let her work there if she like takes him out on walks and stuff, and she wants to work there because Gangtae works there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she had also been getting calls from them.
Yep.
Because her dad needed a surgery.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
they needed her consent as his guardian.
But she doesn't really care about him.
Nope.
But she does end up giving it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, because the nurse, Judy, who is coincidentally was a childhood friend of Go Moon-young, ends up going all the way to Seoul to go get the signature, because she was like, if you want it so badly, come and get it yourself.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Judy is shook.
Yeah. So that happens. So then she's working there.
Yep.
And then she's living at her old home that she lived at when she was a child.
Yeah, which locals call the haunted castle.
Haunted castle. Oh, step up from haunted house.
Yeah, it's a castle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's basically just a series of, guests that they help. Those
Patients?
Patients, I'm sorry. The Hotel de Luna
Right, I
stuff.
did that too.
Yeah, patients that they
Yes.
help there.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some every few episodes.
Yep. Which is better pacing, I think, than
Mhm.
like trying to have one every episode.
Definitely.
Which worked better in Hwayugi, like we discussed,
Mhm.
but it did not work at all in Hotel de Luna.
Not
And I
too
think
much
it
there.
worked the best in Psycho, but it's okay.
Yeah. It was the most like intertwined with the whole plot in this one.
Yes. And it also helped our main character, like our main characters got something out of it as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yes, and then we also learned that Kangtae's mother was murdered. Kangtae and Sangtae's
Murder.
Yes.
Yup. And Sangtae saw the murder,
Yep.
and the only thing, well, he didn't see her face. He just saw her butterfly pin.
Well, he just fixated on the butterfly.
Yeah.
It's not that he didn't see her face, it's that he only remembers that the butterfly pin.
Yes, which is why he's scared of butterflies.
Yeah.
And why they have to move every year.
Well, it's because the person who killed his mom told him that if he talked, that she would come after him and kill him.
Yes.
Butterflies be creepy, man.
Yep.
I don't like them.
Yeah, they're whatever. But so before Valerie moves on, I'll go into a little bit of like character stuff for each of our three main characters thus far. So Gante, because Sangte has autism, he's basically had to be Sangte's caregiver from a young age because he's the younger brother. And I don't think we ever know how much younger he is. Is he maybe like 5 years younger?
Maybe.
I would
Did we
say like
ever
around 5
find
years.
out how old Sangte is?
Sangte is 35.
Sangte? Then they're 5 years apart.
Okay, yeah, so he's 5 years younger than Sangte. When their mother died, I think Gangte was like in middle school, maybe like 10, 11, 12. And so that's when they started being on their own, because once their mom died, it was recommended by a social worker that Sangte be put in a hospital or like an orphanage or some sort of facility for children with mental disabilities, and that Gangte be put in a regular orphanage. And to prevent that from happening, Gangte told Sangte that they needed to run away, and so they did. And so they've been kind of moving from place to place every year because of Sangte's fear up until now. And so I think neither of them were able to truly process that trauma of their mom dying. And then also having added trauma of having to be children with all this added responsibility, basically. More so Gangtae than Sangtae, obviously, because uh, Gangtae takes on the added responsibility of taking care of Sangtae.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because of that, Gangtae is very repressed. He basically numbs himself so that he doesn't have to feel all that pain and all that trauma and anger from his traumas, I guess. And then on top of that, he's in a high emotional stress job as a caretaker. So not only does he have to deal with patients on a daily basis, day in and day out, um, and have to be very patient with them, he also has to come home and be patient with Gangtae or Sangtae as well. And it's very well known that it's hard to be a caretaker for people with autism because they're emotionally volatile. So Gangtae is having a very hard time, but he is putting on a happy face, and at one point he tells Moonyoung that the reason why he's always smiling despite how he might feel is because Sangtae is always searching his face for like to be able to tell how he's feeling or whatever, and that he doesn't want Sangtae to know that he's unhappy. And the irony of it is that one of the first scenes where we see the two brothers together, Sangtae looks at Gangtae's face and he automatically is like he's mad. So even though Sangtae might have trouble recognizing facial expressions and reading emotions on people's faces, he is not fooled by Gangtae's like putting on this happy face. So that's how the two brothers start off. And then Go Moon-young, like Benner said, people think that she's got antisocial personality disorder and is very impulsive. She basically has no filter, says whatever comes to her mind. And so she kind of keeps people at bay, and she just kind of seems like she's like really nonchalant about it and is cool with it and whatever, but later on we start to see that she's actually very lonely. And the CEO guy, I forget what his name is, he even says at one point that she's whenever people start getting close to her, she'll push them away, and he's the only one that she's kind of kept close up until now, but really only because he's like the one that like manages all of her career basically. And even then they're not really that close. He's just taking care of her professional affairs.
Yes. I like how the roles were switched in this drama. Usually it's the female who is the caregiver, but in this situation, Gangtae is literally a caregiver. And like Senior said, Moonyoung is really impulsive and she just says whatever comes to mind, and she's literally like, "Oh, I want Gangtae. I'm gonna go after Gangtae," and so she's the one that's like
Doing the
chasing
pursuing.
Gangtae. Yeah.
Yes.
And usually it's the other way around, and the guy's the one that does that. But this time it's the girl who does it, which I thought was really cool.
Yes.
And then also like when I think it's like in the Beauty and the Beast episode.
There was a Beauty and the Beast episode?
There was. Gangtae is literally the beauty.
Oh, yeah.
And Moonyoung is literally the beast.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great.
Yep. Yes. Anyways, Battery, continue on with the plot.
Where was I?
We were at the part where she's at the hospital now, and then you were talking about Gangtae and Sangtae's mother dying and the Navi, the butterfly.
Yeah, well,
So we already discussed that.
as the episodes go along, we start learning a little bit more about both Moonyoung's mom
Yes.
and Sangtae and Kangtae's mom.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know exactly what happened to Moonyoung's mom. We just know that she keeps saying that she's dead.
Like physically dead,
Yeah,
but that her
physically dead.
soul is alive.
Oh, I
And then she says that her dad
I
is
wrote it
physically
down.
alive, but his soul is dead.
Yeah.
I wrote it down.
What did you what?
She says, my dad's soul is dead but still physically alive like a zombie. My mom is physically died many times, but her soul is still alive.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes, many
Yes.
times.
She does say many times.
So she doesn't actually think her mom is dead, right?
I feel
I
like
think
she
she-
would like to wish that her mom is dead, but I feel like deep down she knows that her mom isn't dead, or that there's a possibility that her mom isn't dead.
I read
And
it.
that's always like in the back of her mind, and that's like what gives her like the spicy deja vu.
I read it differently. I read it as like, because of how her mom treated her, which there was a lot of emotional abuse on the part of her mom, and I think it's also implied that there may have been some physical abuse from her mom towards Go Moon-young. I think that she is referring to like the scars that left on her. I don't think that she means that her mom's still alive. I think
Well, yeah.
that's what she meant.
Yes.
Anyways, continue on, Valerie.
Yes, well, we learn about those things like as the episodes go by.
Yes.
We also we kind of knew this from the beginning, but Kangtae and Moonyoung knew each other when they were little,
Yes.
because Sangtae and Kangtae were playing on the ice
Yes.
one icy day,
Yeah.
snowy day, and Sangtae went into the thin ice, so he
Mhm.
fell through and he was like drowning, and Kangtae
Wow.
contempl-
Wow. Gangtae contemplated.
yes, leaving him there to die because he didn't want to take care of him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
his mom literally told him. I don't think she meant to. She had been drinking and she like let it slip that the only reason she had Gangtae was because, or was in order for him to take care of Sangtae, which was not true. But in her drunkenness, that's what she said. And I think she also didn't mean it that way. I think she meant it as like, I'm so grateful that I had you because you can be another person to help me take care of Sangtae.
She didn't say it exactly like that, did she?
What?
Like exactly that she only had him to take care of Sangtae.
No,
Yeah,
she said
she
it like
did.
that.
She literally said it like that.
Well, yeah, so he's upsetty, obviously.
Well, and he had just won his red belt in
Yeah.
Taekwondo, and he was really excited and was like, "Hey, mom, look, I got my red belt." But because he wasn't there, Sangtae got beat up by and bullied by some people, and so she yelled at him for leaving Sangtae alone.
Yeah. So Gangtae has literally just had to take care of him the entire time.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he's
That his
upset
mother
about it.
didn't love him.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Mhm. And it's not till like later on that he realizes that maybe that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like, he
say that that's
slowly
what.
Yeah.
starts to realize that maybe there was something more to him just remembering that his mom hated him.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was
Mhm.
more nuance to it.
Yeah.
It was like he was only remembering the negative parts,
Mhm.
but wasn't seeing like the full story.
Yeah.
Cute. yes, but
Anyways.
so that's why he wanted to leave Sangte there to die. But
Yes.
he was like starting to run away, and at the last moment he turned back and he saved Sangte.
Yeah.
But because Sangte was like so much bigger than him, when he pulled him out, he fell in.
Yes, he
And
did.
then Sangte, since he was like cold,
He was cold and he was also in shock.
yeah, he just left and he didn't like help Kangte out.
Yeah.
So he was gonna die there. But Moonyoung had been watching from afar,
That creep.
and I guess she was intrigued with Kangte.
She was, yeah.
So she helped him out.
Yeah, after like forever, she had to like use a flower to decide it, like how people do. He loves me. He loves me not. She was
Yeah.
saying,
Like-
should I save him? Should I not save him?
Yeah. So she ends up going and helping him, and then he starts following her around after that.
Yeah, like a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to when he rescued Sangte from drowning, Sangte remembers that differently.
Yeah.
And this is something that Sangte has kind of been dealing with or repressing, not repressing, but it's something he never forgot, is that similar to how Gangte only focused on the negative parts, Sangte too only remembered how Gangte said that he wished that Sangte would die. He said this when he like ran away after his mom yelled at him. And so Sangte held on to that, and later he has when they're at the hospital, he has an outburst, and it was one of the saddest scenes.
That was so sad.
It was so sad.
Oh.
Let me
Yeah.
compose myself
Wow.
before I get into it. He yells it out at Gangte, and he was like, "You just wanted me dead that day," and Gangte can't handle it. He breaks down.
Yeah, no. I don't think so. Sangtae is obviously suppressing that,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't brought up until it was triggered.
Yep.
Until
What was it that triggered it?
well, Gangtae had been lying to him about meeting with Moonyoung, and so
Yes.
it, just like the feeling of abandonment was what I think triggered it.
Okay.
Yeah, like the possibility of Gangtae not being his. Is what like made him freak out.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of well, obviously he has autism, but I think it's kind of dumb because earlier in the first dish episodes, like earlier on in the drama, he was like he beat Gangtae up. Well, he always beats Gangtae up, but he beat him up because Gangtae went over to Moonyoung's house. That was when she like tricked him into being her illustrator and like living in the house. So he went over there and he was like, "We're leaving," and he like broke the contract and stuff. And then Gangtae and Sangtae had a meltdown about how Sangtae was he didn't belong to Gangtae, and how Gangtae belonged to Gangtae, and how they were two separate people.
Yeah.
And they both had their own autonomy. But then when these things arise, like later on in the drama, I noticed that Sangtae was all about Gangtae being his.
Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, they had a very unhealthy codependent relationship. And I think Sangtae yearned for independence, but at the same time, it was scary for him to take too big of a step. So he wanted to be independent while still having Gangtae to fall back on.
Yep.
And so I think he's more upset about Gangtae not being honest with him, rather than it being like he doesn't want Gangtae to leave him. I think that's what that was about. And it's also like he's ready for independence, but baby steps, like one step at a time. Yeah.
That scene though.
That was
It was
That's a very sad
everybody
scene.
got hurt. Because
They did.
Moonyoung was there too.
Yeah, and Moonyoung, oh,
Poor Moonyoung.
Moonyoung was so hurt by seeing Gangtae being hurt. So that was like the first time that we saw how much she really cared for Gangtae, because up until then, it's been kind of like, does she actually like him, or is she kind of like holding on to him because, you know, she's lonely and because she thinks, or because she remembers their history together, and, you know, she just is used to having like everything she wants.
I don't know
type of
if
thing.
it was in that episode or the episode before it, but it was like around that scene where both of them realized that they liked each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh.
Yep. And but I think Gangtae was really, really hurt by hearing Sangtae say that about him, because
Oh.
he obviously didn't mean what he said when he was a kid, that he wanted his brother dead and stuff. And he also never meant to lie to him, or he lied to him like out of like trying to protect him and trying to like keep him from getting hurt.
Yes.
It was so sad.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes, well.
going back to him following around Go Moon-young.
Yeah. Well, he keeps following her around, and she acts like she doesn't like him, but she really does.
Mm-hmm.
And she like is gonna go out to meet him when he comes to her house one day, but her mom makes her tell him to go away.
Yeah, because her mom says that she'll like hurt him or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because her mom is insane. She's basically keeping her isolated because she thinks that Go Moon-young is too good for anybody else. And I think also partially because she doesn't want to share Go Moon-young with anybody else. Ugh, so awful.
Yep.
So yeah, so behind all of Go Moon-young's like acting antisocial, because that's Benner will probably get into why she was misdiagnosed as antisocial. She's like basically internalized all of these things that her mother would tell her about her being different and her being special, I guess, but I think she internalized it in a negative way, in that like she would cause harm to other people if she got too close. And I think that's why she kind of keeps people at arm's length at first, but she just can't help but try and get close to Gangtae.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that's what happened when they were little.
Yes.
That's how they knew each other.
Yeah, and she basically, what's it called? Pushed him away. So he like ran away and like didn't like see her anymore.
Yes. And so from their spicy deja vu from when they were little, they help each other get through that kind of.
Yes.
So that's part of what's going on there, but also what happened with her mom was her mom does have antisocial personality disorder.
Yes, Benner?
Yeah.
Can you confirm it?
Yeah. When I was watching
Is it just antisocial, or is there more going on with her?
Well, with the mom?
Yeah.
I think it's just, I'm not sure if there's more going on with her, but for sure it's antisocial personality.
Oh, and we'll remind the listeners that Benner has a bachelor's in psychology. In case you're wondering why we're being so like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
We're not just making it up.
But for sure, when I was watching it, the first time I was really confused why they said that Moonyoung had antisocial personality disorder. I was waiting for like I kept waiting for it to like be like, oh, this is why, but there was like that was never there.
Well, if she did have it, then it wouldn't have been like one moment. It would have been throughout the whole thing.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But Moonyoung for sure did not have antisocial personality disorder, because if she had, she would have never been able to care for
Anybody.
Yeah, which she obviously did care for Gangtae, and she did feel remorse, which people with antisocial personality disorder can't
Yeah.
feel. And so I don't know why they said that she had antisocial personality disorder, but that was never there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more so that her mom conditioned her to think that she might have had it.
Yeah.
And so she made her act like she did, or like act in a certain way so that people thought she might have had it.
Yeah,
Because
that's
she did have the impulsivity, and she was reckless, and she did have blank affect once in a while, but there
what's that?
where you have like no emotion.
Yes. Okay.
But it she never I don't think she had it.
Do you think it was more of a like an environmental factor where maybe she picked up those traits from her mom?
Yeah, because even when she was younger, she was always out going around and like killing small things, and so it was definitely her mom teaching her that. And she also didn't really hang out with anyone other than like her mom. She didn't have friends really.
Yeah.
Except for that one time when she hung out with Judy.
Yeah,
But then what happened that Judy like stopped? Oh, she made everyone else stop being Judy's friend.
yeah,
Yeah, because
she
she
wanted
was
to keep Judy for herself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is again a learned behavior that she probably picked up
Yeah.
from her mom.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so yeah, it was definitely there was definitely like environmental factors. I think it was more conditioned than anything else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, continue on, Battery.
Yeah, well,
And can we talk about how freaking Gangtae had depression?
we're not talking
Yeah.
about Kangtae right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about it
He had the
a little later on.
What is
He
it?
was depresso espresso.
Yeah, he was.
Oh
He
my
was depresso
Jesus! Yeah,
espresso.
Valerie, continue on.
So her mom had
Antisocial.
antisocial personality disorder. So
Mhm.
her mom was the one that killed Kangtae's mom.
Yep.
And what happened was
Tell us what happened, Valerie.
Oh!
Kangtae's mom was working at their house as a cleaning lady.
Yeah.
A cleaning ajumma.
Mhm.
And she saw Moonyoung kill a bird once because the bird was like hurt.
Yeah.
And Moonyoung was like, it would be better if it was out of pain, right?
Yeah.
Well, she didn't see her kill it. She just heard her say that.
Yeah.
And then so she went and she told the mom. She was like, I think she should get help. You should take her to this hospital. You know.
Yeah.
And the mom did not like that.
She got huffy AF.
Because she thinks Moonyoung is perfect.
Yeah, because Moonyoung is an extension of herself, and she is also perfect. So therefore, no.
Yeah. So when Kangtae's mom was coming to work one day, was she going to work?
I think Gangtae's mom was just coming home with Sangtae.
Yeah, they were going home, her and Sangtae, and she stabbed her with a pen.
It was very violent.
Yes, it's very violent. Much violence.
And Sangtae witnessed it.
Yeah, Sangtae witnessed it, but like we said before, he only remembered like
the butterfly.
Yeah. So, yeah, she murdered her, and then the dad somehow found out. Like,
Yeah.
Moonyoung's dad.
Yep, and he was not happy.
Nope.
And he partially blamed himself for letting Moonyoung's mom get to this point because they made it seem like she wasn't like this before, but if she had antisocial, I'm pretty sure she would have been like that. before.
Yeah. But I don't think he would have like really caught on to it. I think he didn't catch on to it until like way later because she was manipulative.
Do you
So,
think
she
she would have been able to mask any of her symptoms?
yeah, they're like Ted Bundy, like you're really good at like some people can be really good at like social interactions with people even though they have like no emotional connections with others. They're really
Yeah.
good at like
Faking
masking, yeah, and like conning people.
okay.
That's why no one suspected anything when she was working as a nurse.
Yeah.
I thought it
you're
was
right,
really
you're right.
weird how
Spoiler alert.
yeah, I thought
We've been
I was
spoiling
like,
everything.
I was like, oh my Jesus, she like disappeared and then she had like time to like become a nurse, like get her nursing degree, and
Yep.
then like she was in it for the long haul.
She also
Yep.
got plastic surgery.
She did get
Yep.
plastic surgery. I was like,
Ugh.
Jesus.
Diabolical.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yes.
continue on.
Well, her dad finds out, he goes crazy, shoves her down the stairs.
Yeah.
She like
He is so shook.
bleeds much from her noggin.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
You
stuffs
would think
her.
that she's
Yeah,
dead.
he stuffs her in the
Yes.
basement where she bleeds
was
much more.
What
Like,
was that?
There was so much blood.
There was so much blood. I can't.
It was a giant puddle around her, and it was like leaking out. It got to Moonyoung's pata, because Moonyoung,
Yes.
she knows all about everything.
Yeah, because she was watching silently from above. That creep.
What a creep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she knows that her mother is dead,
Yep.
and then her dad, he throws her in the lake, river, whatever it is.
Yep.
Might be a puddle. You never know.
You know,
Who
and
knows?
I think it's implied that he misremembered that because there was no way that she
Yeah.
would have survived getting rolled up and stuff, like bound up and thrown into
Yeah.
a body of water
But-
when she just bled a bunch from her head.
Gallery did make a good point earlier though today.
What?
She was like maybe it was Moonyoung who helped her out of there.
I think it
When
was
during like one of Moonyoung's what's it called, her sleep paralysis nightmares,
Mhm.
young Moonyoung is standing over a lake, and then the lady's coming out of the lake, and she's telling her to help her.
Oh, you're right. I guess that could have happened,
Oh.
but she was a child. How could she have dragged out a full-grown woman that's being weighed down by the wet and by whatever she was wrapped up in?
I don't know.
I think they were just like, oh, we're just gonna let people kind of suspend disbelief on this one.
It was an alien. It was an alien. That's what happened.
Okay. Wow. Anyways,
Either-
Valerie.
Well, somehow the mom got out and she was alive and she got plastic surgery, got a degree, was working as a nurse, all that.
Yep.
Killing patients.
Yeah, because she killed that
Angel
dude that
of
came
Death
out in the beginning.
style.
You know that dude that caused the ruckus at Munoz fan sign at the beginning?
Her
It
reading.
was-
Her reading? She killed that dude.
Yep,
But-
she did.
How did she get there? Because in that
She was-
hospital, that hospital was in Seoul.
She probably followed
She went there. I don't know.
Has she been like following Moonyoung this entire time?
I don't
No,
think she's been
not-
following Moonyoung. I think she found out where Moonyoung was gonna be there. I think she may have been kind of snooping on her a little bit here and there.
I think she was checking to make sure that she was still like being an asshole and acting like
How
her
she
perfect
conditioned her
little
to.
child. Yeah.
Gangtae got kicked out of the hospital because they needed someone to blame. So maybe she she saw that and then she knew that Moonyoung was there, so she looked more into it and found out what happened.
Maybe. That's possibility.
Yeah, that could be. I think they explained it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Well,
Regardless,
she killed that dude.
she did.
Yeah.
And it's implied that she may have killed actress lady as well.
Yes, because there was an actress that was at
A patient.
Yeah, she was a patient at the hospital,
Yeah.
and she was acting like Moon-young's mom
Yeah.
because her real mom was giving her instructions.
Yeah.
And I was discussing with Benner, we're not sure if she was like just an actress who came in acting crazy, or if she was like legit crazy actress. And then she, the real mom took advantage of that and made her play her mom.
I think she was, but she was in there from the beginning, so I think she may have been a former actress who literally came in as a patient, and the mom took advantage of that. Because that actress lady was a big fan of Go Moon-young's mom's work. Because Go Moon-young's mom was also a writer.
Yeah.
Who wrote this famous fiction series, Death of the Witch in the West, or something like that.
And she never finished it.
Nope.
And plot twist, Moon-young has the final manuscript the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's pretty much what happens. She comes out later, tries to kill Kangtae.
Yeah, because Gangtae is polluting Go Moon-young.
She's making her feel. Feels.
No. Oh, and she kills Moon-young's dad.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
she
does. That happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and you skipped the part earlier about how after he went crazy and went to go dispose of Go Moon-young's mom's body, the dad tries to suffocate Moon-young.
Oh, yeah.
Or strangle her.
He's been trying to kill her this whole time.
And so later on, when he sees her as an adult, he can't distinguish whether she's her or her mom.
But I think he was already like suffering from dementia at that point. Although
That's true.
I don't think it would have. I mean, it could have been the case where it was like rapid dementia and he was just like completely unable to differentiate between the two, but I feel like it probably wouldn't have been that fast.
Maybe.
Well, we don't know how long he had been suffering from it, though.
That's true. Well, and I'll correct myself. I don't think he couldn't differentiate between the two. I think he mistook Moon-young for her mom.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying that she looks a lot like her mom.
But he definitely when he's in the psych ward and she comes and visits when she's an adult, I think at that point he really couldn't differentiate between the two anymore.
Yeah. I think he had a literal mental breakdown after the whole thing with her mom. Yeah. Because he seems like a very meek person.
Yes.
And so I think that being pushed to the edge of like literally killing somebody, or he thought that he killed the mom, I think that broke him, and I think that he couldn't really come back from that. And then also especially trying to kill Moon-young, which it's implied obviously that he loved Moon-young and he tried to kill her. It was like a mercy killing. Like the reason he tried to strangle her was because he also thought that she was going to turn out like her mom, and he wanted to stop that before it happened. But it's also implied that he knew that the mom was being emotionally and potentially physically abusive towards Moon-young, and he did nothing to like really stop it. Yeah, that was all I had for that. Yeah.
Okay, well, the mom ends up coming and trying to kill them, obviously, and they stop her thanks to Sangtae. He smacks her in the head with something.
Yeah, he does.
And then the police come, and then they take
her away.
And that's really all we see of her.
Yeah. Well, she gets put in does she get put in prison or a psych ward?
I don't know.
I don't think they tell us.
Well, she gets put in a facility of some sort. She gets locked up, and Moon-young does visit her one final time and basically tells her that she's not like her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think it might have been prison.
Anyways. Mm,
So yeah, then basically it's just Sangtae and Kangtae and Moonyoung trying to get Sangtae to approve of them, and
yeah, as a couple.
yes, and then they go on a trip on their favorite rocket ship,
Yeah.
shooting through the sky.
What?
Little Einstein.
Oh my Jesus! No.
But yeah, then Sangtae decides when they're on their trip that he needs to be an adult by himself,
Yep.
and he leaves them in the middle of their trip.
Yeah, because he was hired by another writer to illustrate
Yes,
their book.
because his illustrations were
A hit.
very good. Yes, they were a hit.
Yeah. And yeah, because Benner kind of talked about it a little bit, but Valerie didn't mention it in her recap.
I'm sorry.
Go Moon-young tricks Sangtae into being her illustrator with the end goal of having him move into the castle so that then Gangtae moves in as well so she can like seduce him.
Yeah.
And it turns out working out great. And the book that she publishes is actually their story. It's about them taking on the witch, which is her mom, and they use their powers.
Like Exo's powers?
Yeah. Him!
I was just gonna say that.
Pete.
Anyways,
Fungi.
so yeah, that's why he gets a job to do.
Yes. Also in the book, it like features all the patients they helped throughout the
Yes.
drama.
Oh, we should talk
does
about
it?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
comes
sweet.
out.
Yeah.
What book?
The last one.
They read it in the last episode.
Oh, I didn't.
Wow.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the patients. The first one was this guy who liked to like run around naked. He would like
He had borderline.
did he?
Yes, because they said that he had a manic disorder, and usually you get
Talk into your mic.
Usually you get manic disorders when you have one of the borderline disorders.
Okay.
If I am not mistaken. But there's two different types of borderline.
I don't think they went into which kind it was.
No, they didn't.
But so he just so happens to be the son of a politician who's running for some big office. Is it like governor or president?
Wasn't it mayor?
Mayor? Ah,
I
yes,
think it was
mayor. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the reason why he like has these manic episodes is because he's basically his family has deemed him to be the idiot of the family, and so he's like a disgrace to his parents, and everybody pretends that he's not part of the family, and so he's doing these things to get his parents' attention.
Yes.
And it's sad.
It was so sad.
Yeah, it was.
Cause like he like disrupts a big like event that they're doing for the guy's campaign, his dad's campaign,
Yeah.
and instead of them like being kind towards him, they're like, "What are you doing here?" And like, "You're like a disgrace and stuff." And his mom even smacks him.
Yeah. I think that whole episode really talked about how like the pressure that children are the pressure that's put on children to like uphold the family's name and the family's honor, and not disgracing them or doing anything that's embarrassing, because then you make your parents look bad.
And basically the mayor dude came in, and the main psych doctor, the what is he, the president?
The
Director. He said that him going out like this was a big step in his recovery, and that he would be able to be discharged soon. And his dad was like, "Nope, I don't want that at all. We'll just move him to another hospital." And Gangtae is there because Gangtae is being like said that he's gonna get punished for it. And Gangtae has an outburst and says like, why do children need to be useful for their
Yes.
parents? Because that triggered his spicy deja vu about his mom saying that he was only
Mhm.
born to take care of Sangte.
Yes. Yes. I was gonna mention that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it also shows how there's still like stigma around mental
Oh,
illness.
yep.
There's like still stigma here too, but
There's
I can
stigma
imagine that
everywhere.
it's probably
Much
like
worse.
intensified over in
Yeah.
Korea.
Oh, yes.
Because yeah, and so I was like, Jesus, but they've basically just been hiding him away
Mm-hmm.
because he is the dumb one.
Supposedly. Even
Yeah,
though,
but
you know,
he was
again.
basically born that way. You can't really do much about it.
Well, and I feel like that's like also speaking to the fact that a lot of people don't realize that people with mental disabilities or that are not neurotypical, um, it's not that they're dumb or that they can't do things. It's that there's something that's physically preventing them from doing things the way that, like, quote unquote, normal people do it. And so it's like very dumb.
Yeah. I feel like in situations where like people run into people who have like mental illnesses, instead of like there's stigma with them being dangerous, but they're not. Like there can be situations that are triggering to them and that may cause them to like react a certain way that may be seen violently, but people don't know how to de-escalate situations, and instead of making them better they just make them worse because
That's
they
true.
make that person even more like upset and uncomfortable.
That's true.
Like the song thing that happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, Gangtae was definitely like triggered with the assemblyman and like basically telling him, well, when the assemblyman was saying that he had no need for a dumb son,
Yep.
and that he just ended up like getting slapped for it because he called him out.
But that assemblyman left them alone because the director cleverly recorded the whole thing. So he got the assemblyman slapping Gangtae on the CCTV.
That director was great.
He was great.
When he was showing his blackmail tape to the nurse lady, he was like, he was looking at the computer like old people do. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
because he was
just
an old
like,
person.
He was just like, look what I've got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But side note, the dude that played that guy, the son, Kwak Dong Yeon. I've seen him in many other dramas.
Yeah, it even said at the end of the episode, thanks to him for making a cameo.
Oh, and also when so that guy got slapped in the face by his mom.
Yeah.
And he was really happy about it.
Yeah, because he said that it showed that she loved him.
Yeah, he said that he felt a lot better, and he felt that his mom actually cared. And yeah, it was just basically his mom's harshness was actually her being hurt that he was being treated the way he was. And because she kept like telling him, she was like, why do you always act out? And so she just wanted him to like not act out so that he wouldn't get like, because he was like beat up by his dad too.
Yeah.
And so she cared too much about him, I guess. But that was really dumb too. She could have like gone about it a different way.
Well, but
And
like we said, it's like she can't like take his side because fully because because of the stigma, and because at the end of the day, like, she'd rather like lose one son than lose the rest of her family type of situation.
It's true.
Which
and
is
that like him saying that his mom cared about him because he slapped him.
She slapped him.
Because she slapped him made Gangtae realize that maybe his mom like cared about him in
Mhm.
ways that he hadn't like realized before.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Next patient. Who was the next patient?
I don't know.
I
You
can't
guys tell
believe you
me.
don't know what the
Was
next
the next,
who the next
patient
was.
the lady that had the fur?
Oh yeah, it
coat?
was.
Oh
It
yes.
was.
Didn't know what order they came out in.
Yeah, she thought that Moonyoung was her daughter,
Mhm.
but her daughter died in an accident right before right after she had just given her that coat. And the reason why she's basically in denial about it because she like felt bad that the last thing that she told her daughter was like mean.
Yeah,
That lady
she yelled at her.
had, major depressive disorder.
Yep.
She was super
Espresso.
Yep. She was room manager from Hotel de Luna.
She was.
Oh, yeah.
Man, freaking room manager lost daughters in both those
Oh
dramas.
no.
No.
At least
Yeah.
her daughter this time was older.
That's true.
Unless
She got
that's
to raise
worse
her.
because she was with her longer.
It's probably the
We'll
same.
let it up to the
this-
viewers to decide.
You mean the listeners?
They're viewing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Now
But,
we have viewers as well.
Yeah.
Viewer listeners.
But in this episode, well, when with this patient, we just saw more of how much Moon Young's mom like affected her, and
yeah, because that lady acting like it was her mom triggered Moonyoung.
yes.
See, the reason I said that Moon Young might not actually think that her mom's dead is because when that lady came out for a second, she was like, when she said that she was her mom, she was like considering.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but that eventually led to Moon Young being able to quote unquote cut herself free from her mother when she cut her hair off.
Yes.
With the help of Gante.
That's true. Yeah,
Doing
because her
some-
mom didn't want her to cut her hair ever.
Yes, because her hair, she wanted her to keep her hair long because she had long hair.
Yes.
And so she had to be like her mother.
She did some quarantine hair chopping there with
she
Kante.
Yep. That episode also helped Gangtae realize some more stuff about his mom as well, and how, it helped him realize some more stuff about his mom and how, we just got some flashbacks about, him, despite his mom not really, or how it seemed to him at the time, not really like paying him that much attention because she was busy with Sangtae, who needed more attention. She still like was there for him. And he still needed her because he was a child. It was so sad.
Yes.
Yeah. But Moon Young yells at that lady.
She does, and then that lady
Which-
she faints.
Then she's like dead for a little. But
She
then
has,
She's like dead for me.
yeah, she thanks Moon Young because it helped her realize.
She relieved
What was the
the
term
burden.
they used?
What?
She went into conversion.
Conversion.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the term they used, but it was where a patient starts to come out of like a delusion.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter. If you guys know what it was, let us know.
Who was the next patient?
The next patient was, I'm pretty sure, the couple. It was Biol and that alcoholic guy.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her.
With who?
With the Biol lady.
Well, she was in an abusive relationship, so she was also probably suffering from depression.
Yes.
And some
Spicy deja vu.
PTSD.
For viewers who don't know,
Spicy deja vu means trauma
PTSD.
/ PTSD.
Yes, I saw it on a TikTok. I am sorry, but not.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should probably explain that for people that are just like popping in and haven't been with us for a long time next
Yeah, I
time
saw
too.
it on a
We never
TikTok
explained
calling
it on
PTSD spicy deja vu, and I thought it was
We like
great.
made it implication though. We
Yeah.
like kind of like related it.
Spicy deja vu, PTSD
Mhm.
trauma.
Yes.
Mhm.
Anyways, yeah, the thing with the couple, it's not so much that they help them get over their issues that they're having, it's that they help them
Realize they like
realize
each other.
no, not that they like each other. They've known they liked each other. It's that
Moonyoung and what's his face?
that's
Gante?
not well, yeah, that couple helps Moonyong and Gante realize they like each other, but Moonyong and Gante help them realize that they need to individually
Work on themselves.
work on
first.
their issues before they can like be in a relationship
Yes.
because
They
them
can't be bringing in that package, that
baggage, yeah, like they'll do the they'll never like you
be able
know
to grow.
yeah, they'll never like get better by like trying to be with each other first.
Yeah.
So that was basically it there.
Also, was it her ex-boyfriend?
Oh yeah, her ex-husband came.
Oh, ex-husband. Yeah, he
And
comes.
so rudely smacked Moonyoung in the face.
Yup,
Yeah,
and
because she
then-
steps in to stop him from beating up
Harrison.
Yol.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Gante sees and he loses it.
Yep.
Yeah,
He
don't.
punches
He
him.
punches him.
Yeah.
Yep, because
It's great.
you know Gangte. Oh, we haven't said Gangte is very constipated.
He is the most
Oh, he is so
constipated you will
constipated.
ever find.
Yep. So far,
Oh.
he's been the most constipated. For those of you that don't know, constipated is just short for emotionally constipated, which a lot of our drama leading men tend to be.
Yep.
Steady constipation.
It'll
It's
get
rampant.
That's why we
But-
decided to start a new group called Deconstipated.
I can't believe you.
I can't.
Follow our website for more information. It'll
Oh,
be
actually,
eventually.
yeah.
Yeah.
We also have the alcoholizers and what's the other
The
one?
delusional.
The delusionals.
Yes, but to be fair, Gangtae is only constipated because he's literally been holding everything in since he was a child because he's had to make sure that Sangtae doesn't like freak out.
Yeah.
But he's also pretended to be happy to keep Sangtae happy because he feels guilty for like wishing that Sangtae was dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the irony is that he doesn't even fool Sangte, who like is supposed to have a harder time reading expressions and emotions on people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say something I forgot.
But yeah, he that instance is when he starts to kind of let everything out and let himself feel, because up until now he has been like repressing everything and not allowing himself to process everything that he's been going through. And Gomunyeong, a lot of that is thanks to Gomunyeong.
Yeah. They said Gomunyeong told him that she told him that he was taming her, and then he was like, it's actually the opposite. And so they're bringing out all these different like
Things in each
aspects,
other.
yeah, in each other that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to like let out.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually people there's a lot of the times in relationships people will bring the worst out in each other,
Yes.
but in this case they're bringing out the best in each other,
Yeah. Which was great.
or bringing out the things that the other needs, providing the thing that
Oh, I
the other
remember
needs.
what I was gonna say. Gomonyoung has also been helping everybody else too. Like
yeah.
she like her actions might have seemed shitty and like over the top and like know, like really harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But they've actually been helping other patients. Like she was the one that kidnapped the assembly dude's son and took him to where his dad was having a rally. And so he was able to like tell the public how his dad had been abusing him and how he was a hypocrite, and that really helped him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the lady who lost her daughter, like the room manager lady,
Yeah.
she took her what's it called,
Her shawl,
her shawl,
Oh,
and
yeah.
which her
forgot
daughter
about
had
that.
given her.
yeah, and that basically helped the lady be able to move on, because that was like dragging her down, and like it was a reminder of that guilt that she had for
Mhm.
like so she was able to get rid of that
Yeah.
when Moon-young took it away. So Moon-young has been basically helping all these individuals, but
Yeah.
just some of her like tactics just may have seemed really harsh to other people.
Or may not have seen like the best thing to do in that
Mhm.
situation.
Yeah.
She also gave the violent alcoholic dude money to
Yeah.
run away.
Yeah.
They did.
And let them kind of figure
Figure it
out that maybe that wasn't the best idea.
Yes.
And then there's two more patients, I think, that they end up helping. There's the lady who says she's a shaman who has DID.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we don't see this until like very late into the drama. We only see one of her personalities, which is her younger self. She's a little girl. And then we find out that she was abused by her dad, and that he ended up selling her off to a shaman, and like she for a very long time, for years and years, she was still waiting for him to come back and get her. And it was sad. And I think Gangtae was the one that helped her out.
I don't really remember that one.
Brought her dad had been calling her, and then he came in to visit.
Didn't he like need a kidney or something?
Oh.
I think
he needed an organ.
Something, yeah.
He needed an organ, I think it was.
And then
she was like the only like relative or some shit. And that's triggered her switch.
Yeah. And then Kante helped her with that.
Yes. And then there was PTSD Ajushi.
Yes.
And there was an Ajushi who was a Korean War vet, who he seems fine.
Yeah.
And so we don't know really why he's in there, but then when we follow him on his day off, because all the patients get to come out like once a month or something, and it's his day off, and when he's coming back, he's on the bus, and his PTSD gets triggered by some loud construction noises, and we see like his point of view, like what that looks like to him. So it like brought him back to when he was in the war.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of guilt around like the people that he killed, and Sangte actually helps him through that.
Oh,
he
that was
uses
great.
he uses the same
That's
method
so
Kante
great.
used when he got triggered at that fan sign.
Yeah, he covers him up so that it shuts down all the sensory things that are triggering him. And then he gets him safely, and Sangte gets him off the bus, and then he calls 911.
Well, he calls the hospital.
Oh, he calls the hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. I was so proud of Sangte.
Yes!
Oh my gosh! Oh, it was great. I was so proud
And
of
then
him.
he lent him his book by Go Moon-young.
And
which one was it? Was it the
first
nightmare,
one,
the nightmare one?
Yeah.
Which is which the message of that one is that to never forget your nightmares. Basically your traumas, the bad things, because they're what makes you grow.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
And so that whole situation basically helped Sangtae realize, like, open up about talking about his past trauma with like the butterfly
Mm-hmm.
incident, and actually like helped him start talking about what happened that night
Yeah.
when his mom was killed and what he saw.
Yeah, which helped him get over his butterfly trauma so that they don't have to move any longer, basically.
Yes. Although, then the freaking nurse sped it up by drawing a butterfly on the wall, and it just like messed up the process, and it like freaked him out. It was too quick,
Yeah.
and then that just caused issues for.
Well,
everyone.
because she didn't know that that was Sangte and that was Gangte from back then until later on. She kind of like pieced it together. She also
Mhm.
like insidiously became friends with Sangte
Yes.
Yeah.
to try and get information out of him, which sucked.
She
This
gave
was
him a
after
dinosaur.
She did give him a dinosaur.
it was after he had that outburst where he
Told everyone that
Gangte
tried
wanted to kill him. Yeah, he had to stay at the hospital for a couple days.
Yeah. He told her, one of the things that I remember him telling her was that, cause he was talking about how Dooley had a stepmom.
Oh yeah,
And how
and Dooley is a
Korean cartoon
animated dinosaur.
Yes. And so he basically said that the stepmom was a good mom, even though she was a fake mom.
Yeah,
And he was saying, and then I think she asked about his mom.
yeah.
Oh, she asked him if his mom was a good mom, and he said that his mom was a good mom to him, but a bad mom to Gangtae.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
The sadness.
Yeah, so even Gangtae knew that.
Sangte.
Yeah, even Sangtae knew that his mom wasn't treating Gangtae fairly.
The same, yeah.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? But you know, like, we forgot to mention Ajuma. Ajuma
yes,
from
Ajuma.
Healer was
Ajuma.
Judy She's mom, and so she
Yes.
works at the hospital as a cook, and Gangte Sangte and Jeshu She, who is their friend, move into their house.
Yes.
She tells Gangte about his mom, like, you know, like, she did the best that she could under the circumstances because their dad suddenly died, and then suddenly she had to be a single mom to a mentally handicapped son and then another son as well. So you
and
know,
she was basically like, you know how hard it is to take care of
Sandra.
Sangte, so you know how hard it might have been for her to take care of that and take care of him. And on top of that, she was a single mom in, like, back then at times Korea.
yeah.
So it probably would have even
back
harder.
then at times. It was
Well,
like the
back
80s.
then at times ish.
So like, I like that they didn't demonize her
Yeah.
because of the way that she did that, because
Mhm.
that tends to happen a lot with parents, is that people are like, oh well, they were a bad parent or whatever.
Yes.
What, Valerie?
You need to apologize to the listener viewers.
Why?
That patient who had the abusive husband, her name was not Biol, it was Adam.
Yeah, I was confused.
They
as
kept
to why
saying
you were
Biol.
calling her
I
Biol.
don't know.
I think maybe that was just her nickname.
Maybe. But
That's
her
what
name
it
was
said
Adam.
on the subtitles.
No, it didn't.
I don't remember, but it was Adam.
I don't know why it said Biol then.
Get
Whatever.
it together, Sandra.
Whatever.
Wow.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What were we saying? What were we talking about?
We just talked about how they
How
didn't
they didn't,
demonize
yeah.
mom.
Yeah. But what were we talking about before that?
Sangtae was the wisest one in this film.
He really was.
Other than
Yeah,
the
he
director.
was.
I feel like everybody underestimated Sangtae because of his autism, and I think that happens a lot in real life with people that have autism as well.
Yes.
Sangtae also said when after he found out that the nurse was Go Young's mom and that she was like trying to kill them, he was like, "That I should get rid of my Stegosaurus." But then he liked it was a big Stegosaurus and it was so cute.
It was.
I wouldn't want to get rid of it either.
Yeah.
But he was like, "No, I'm keeping it." He was like, "It wasn't Julie's mom's fault that Go Young's mom did those things."
Yeah, that's true.
And so that kind of helped Gangtae realize that, you know,
it's okay
It was-
for him to be with
with
Go
Moon-young.
Gomunyoung.
Because it wasn't really her fault.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
They
then
were
they-
having some problems with her mom killing his mom.
Yeah.
It was that whole healer shit again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then she got upset too.
which, you know, it's a weird situation to be put in.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk too much about Jesu, whatever.
He was just their friend.
He was, but he has been with them for a long time.
Yeah,
We don't know exactly how long he's been with them.
He's been with them since he was 16.
Oh, okay. And he's a year older than Gangtae, so
He's been with them for like 18-ish years.
yeah. Well, yeah, because Gangtae said that they've moved 18 times. But he's like really loyal to Gangtae, and I feel like Gangtae like doesn't like show him how much he appreciates him enough. And I say justice for Jesu because like he
for
has been
sure.
there forever, and he's like made sure that, you know, Gangtae and Sangtae are okay.
He's been Gangtae's support system.
Yep.
He even
Because
said
I feel like if Jesu hadn't been there, then
Gangtae
Gangtae would have
died.
probably had gone. He probably would have gone like insane or had like
Yeah.
a mental breakdown.
He
or
would
something.
definitely be worse off than
Yes.
he is.
Yeah.
Jesu even said that when he met him, you know, he's 1 year older than him, so he should be his Hyun.
Yeah.
But Gangtae never called him Hyun.
He only cared
And-
about Sangtae.
Yes. And so he accepted being his friend, like his same aged friend, because Gangtae needed a friend, not a
Yes.
Hyun.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when
Even though he would have liked a Donseng, he said.
But it's all good later. They become Hyung Dong-seng.
Yes.
They do.
Ko Moon-young called Jesu over. I don't remember.
Oh
why.
yeah, because Gangtae was he shut down after he found out about Go Moon-young's mom
Yeah.
before she knew about it, and so she wanted to know what was wrong with Gangtae.
And Jesu basically said that he was never able to like
Figure it out.
understand him and like understand what was going on inside his head.
His noggin.
Yeah, his noggin. His
Cabecita.
cabecita. But that he had just been there, and that all she could really do was be there and try to understand him.
Yeah, basically he said you just have to like wait it out because he'll be okay or whatever.
Which kind of reminds me of what Judy had said when after Sangtae has that breakdown where he tells everyone that Gangtae tried to kill him, and Gangtae's just waiting it out and like hanging out in the hallway and stuff, and then like the director dude's son asks him like what he's doing there because he's just waiting there, and Judy said that for people who have autism, they basically just like shut the door for everybody else, and so all that Gangtae can really do is wait until Sangtae opens the door back up for him. And so that reminded me of that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that's the case with that's kind of something that you can see across the board with people that have other mental disorders, is that it's that's kind of the natural and easiest thing to do is to shut down and like kind of process things on your own before you're able to like ask for help basically.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't talk about we briefly talked about Judy and
Oh my gosh, don't talk to me about her.
I
and
don't like her.
Go Moon-young.
Oh,
So
she was so annoying,
at
dude.
first I didn't like her, but then when like the more you got to figure out like what her deal was and stuff, like I wasn't as like antagonistic about her because it was weird to me that she like liked Gangtae without really knowing much about him because he's not somebody to open up who's gonna open up to anybody. So I can't imagine that he opened up to her ever. So I think she was just like infatuated with him. She just had a crush on him.
She liked him because he, I think the first time they met, he told her to slap him.
Oh yeah, I guess.
And
Why?
well, because she keeps everything in.
He
She's
keeps
like,
everything in.
no, she keeps everything in. She's also like,
Oh,
she
She's
doesn't
got
really
some
show
she's
emotion.
also
She's also
constipated.
Yeah.
But like, I guess somebody like yelled at her, one of her superiors or something, and he told her to slap him if it made her feel better, and so she
Oh
did.
yes.
And so I think having
She
someone that was able to like
understand her.
yeah was made her like him.
Oh, okay. Well, see, like that's why though. Like she's not and like because she keeps everything to herself, like I feel like that like informed a lot of her actions and she also seemed very insecure and was like why does he like her when we are closer. She's like very jealous of Go Moon-young and stuff, but she does like she accepts it and she like moves on a lot quicker and with a lot more grace than like a lot of other second female leads do in other dramas, and I appreciated that.
I didn't
I
like
didn't-
how annoying she was. She was
Yeah.
just really annoying and just always clinging on to him. And it's like, even after like he rejected her, she
That
was
was
still
annoying.
going after her. And I was like, just stop.
But she did like she like got it after a while though is what I'm saying. Like she like
She was
started
just-
out as like a typical, you know, person like that. But I think she also like when she met the CEO dude and they started to kind of become close, I think her character shifted a little bit and
Yeah.
she became less annoying.
She was fine after that, but anything before that, I didn't like her. She was just really annoying,
Yeah.
and I was like, why?
Yeah.
She was also like Go Moon-young kept calling her two-faced because she's one of those people that like acts like really meek and really nice.
And then explodes.
Yeah, well, she never exploded.
Wow, are you looking at me?
She never exploded at anybody. She
She
just like
didn't
had
explode,
outbursts to
yeah.
herself and like with her mom and
I
stuff.
can't with her.
But
Bug.
you also kind of hear her.
I can't with
You
her.
also
That scene
get
was
the
so obnoxious.
you get the backstory about her too, kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
In that her dad died when she was young and she was really close to him, and so it affected her.
That betrayal to Ajima.
And they were also mean to like the kids were mean to her when she was younger.
Yeah,
they
they
bullied
were.
her.
And Go
And
Moon-young
that's
was
why
her
Go
only
Moon-young
friend.
befriended her because everybody was scared of her.
Mm-hmm.
And so they stopped bullying her after she started hanging out with her. But
Yeah.
then Go Moon-young got jelly and didn't want anybody else to be friends with her.
That's true, but they were like genuinely good friends,
And then they kind of sorted out towards the end.
they
so
do,
that's good.
and
They
like
became drinking buddies.
They did.
They did.
Judy just had to smack her. That's all.
But what I was trying to say is that Go Moon-young like got like a home cooked meal and felt some kindness and warmth from Ajima from when she came over.
Yeah. Ajima was being a mother to everyone.
She was
It was great.
Yeah,
peak
Kdrama.
Ajima.
Yes.
Ah.
At first, when I first watched this drama, I kind of was annoyed by Ajima's character because there were some things that were really annoying at first, like how she was trying to push not Sangte, Gangte to be with Judy.
But that's how a lot of Korean moms
Yeah.
are, though.
Yeah. I just thought it was dumb, but like you said, it's like a Korean cultural thing. But
Yeah.
she was this time around when I watched it, I realized how motherly she was
Yep.
to
Everybody.
Gante, and she helped him like realize that
A lot of
like he
things.
shouldn't like hate his mom
And
or be upset with his mom because she was probably having
a
a
hard,
hard
time.
time and she was doing the best she could, like trying to raise two boys
Yeah.
and one of them being autistic.
And she also pointed out to Gangtae that it was great that Sangtae was given
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to be more independent and
Yeah.
got a job, because like a lot of people with autism have a hard time getting professional jobs.
Yeah.
So she was basically like putting a lot of things into perspective for a lot of
Yeah.
people, not just Gangtae.
And she was so nice to Moonyoung.
Yes.
She was great. Well, Benner, you want to talk about some of that cognitive depression?
Wait, before we do that, we also didn't talk at all about Sungjae,
Oh yeah, I
What?
was gonna mention her when you were saying
art
that
director.
the CEO was like under a lot of stress. I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say that he took it all out on Sung.
I
Yes,
forgot.
he did.
But
And,
then you moved on.
Yeah,
No,
she's
she's been
technically
popping up in a lot of dramas.
she's
It's,
the art
recently.
director.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
She came out in
It's-
Swing
the
Kids.
lady that
G
was.
G. I forget what her name is. Sorry.
Hold on.
She came out
Something
in
Ju.
Swing Kids. She came out in she was a ghost
Park
in
Jin-ju.
Hotel de Luna.
Yeah, Jinju.
Park Jin-ju.
Yeah.
Yep.
We saw her in some other things, you know. Yeah.
Yep. She her like official title at the publishing company is art director, but I guess she's like a glorified assistant
Yeah.
to Sangin, which is the
The
CEO.
CEO, yeah.
Yes, and she's like, she helped
She's
a lot of
hilarious.
people too, but mostly
She's
she was
smarter
just putting
than she
her.
looks.
Yeah, she is. She was just putting her foot in her mouth,
Yeah.
and
But it was great.
It was
She was like
great
most of the
listening.
comic relief for the drama.
for sure.
Um,
But yeah, she was definitely mistreated.
yeah, she was. It's implied that she ends up with Jesu.
Yeah. Which is great.
And then she also like is giving Judy advice and is trying to
Yeah.
get her with the CEO because
The
it
CEO is
benefits her.
Yeah, and the CEO is also like making her do it.
Yeah. And then
CEO
she's
so
like,
useless.
he is useless. Oh, the most important part we almost forgot. Rebecca
Rebecca?
makes an appearance.
Rebecca from
Rebecca,
Waikiki. From
Yes.
the Waikiki drama.
Now let's go on to the
Sometimes
depression.
Do you have anything else to say about it? You wanted to talk about Kante's depression earlier.
Yes. We basically just Sandra touched on it. He had to grow up like right after his mom died.
Yeah,
Like
basically.
he didn't have a choice because he had to take care of not only of himself, but he had to take care of Sangte, who was like autistic. I have no idea how the hell he pulled it off because he was like in middle school at the like latest.
Yeah. They might have taken on odd jobs or something.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
They're
so
probably homeless for a while.
He probably was homeless, so I mean, he did like an awesome job, I
He
guess, or he did his best. Like they survived for
Yeah.
the most part.
Jesu says that he was a part timer at his dad's chicken place at one point,
Yeah.
or that's how they met. At
Yeah.
least.
And so he's basically just kept everything in. He wasn't able to grieve because he didn't have
time to do it.
Yeah, he couldn't. They had to survive. So he wasn't able to grieve for his mother.
So I think they were probably in survival mode for a very long time.
Yeah. And so he kept all those emotions bottled up, and that poor boy.
Yeah.
He's just had to
protect him at all costs.
Yeah, he had just had to keep everything in, and he like had nobody to talk to. He couldn't like, well, he had Jesu, but even with Jesu, he didn't share what was on his mind or what was happening.
Yeah,
or
it sounded
anything.
like he was still like what do you call it?
In denial.
Not in denial. He was still not willing to like share that much with Jesu.
And like later on in the drama, he realizes that maybe it wasn't them moving every year. Maybe it wasn't because of the butterflies so much, and like trying to like keep Sangtae from like freaking out because of the butterflies, but it might have been him too. Like he was trying to run away. He was trying to run away from having to process all of that happened.
Yeah, he said that when a person is having a hard time, the like natural thing to do is that they would want to run away to relieve
so
all that pain.
He's physically been literally running away.
Yeah.
The entire time.
Oh.
And then he's had to live basically his whole life with this guilt that like he's internalized and he's trying to make up he's been trying to make it up to Sangtae
for telling him that
he wanted him dead.
Yeah.
The whole time, his whole life.
And a lot of this would have you know, been relieved, like their relationship would have been a lot stronger if they had been able to communicate better. But you know, that's sometimes not the easiest thing for people.
Yeah. And he's also been treated shitty, like at his jobs. He's been the scapegoat like at all his jobs. Basically he's always getting like beat up by patients. He's basically he's getting beat up by Sangtae the entire time. So he's been beat up his entire life basically. And so when Komunyon comes along, it like helps him like realize that he can focus on what he wants.
Yeah, he can make time for himself.
And that he doesn't have to just keep giving.
Yeah.
That because he's she said that he was a child at heart, and that she could see it in his eyes that he just wanted to be loved.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
The poor boy.
That poor boy.
Indeed. But that's okay. They all actualize.
I don't know.
When you wow, they like grow as
a leg.
Wow, no, what even? They grow emotionally and mentally through this journey, and they help each other.
Yeah. And I think what helped was that little, what the hell is that? I think what helped too, other than like Komunyon, was the little tree that they planted for his mom. He was finally like able to like let go and realize that him liking Komunyon wasn't like him betraying her and the memory of her and like his brother.
And he was also able to let go of the resentment that he had towards her.
And he was able to actually start putting his needs first.
Yeah.
Hence Komunyon! I love you!
He does, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. Because she told him that she loved him, and then he tells her that he loves her in the same exact way.
Yes. Oh, you know something that I was gonna mention, which I forgot to
What?
mention. So after after Sangte had his breakdown, and his breakdown where he tells everyone that Kangte wanted to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of like cut Komunyoung off.
Oh yeah, he did.
And he basically blamed her for his shitty dependence on his brother, like that life. Cause if she hadn't like
Sangte did?
Yeah.
cause if she hadn't if she had let him die
Yeah.
in the lake, then he wouldn't have had to live like he
Yeah,
did. Like he wouldn't
he
have
said
had to
that
live
a
taking
couple
care
times.
of Sangte.
He said that a couple times, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another indication of like his depression.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he's also kind of with that type of language, he's making himself the victim.
Yeah.
And saying like he has and making himself powerless.
Mm-hmm.
And basically saying he has no agency in what happens to him because he just needed to like act and
Yes.
upon or like commit to
Take
like
action.
take at yeah, that's what I said. What?
Oh. I didn't hear you.
Oh,
What's
okay.
going on, Cole? Carry on, Sandra.
Wow. He just needed to like process that pain, like take agency of over his actions and like basically say that he's going to like become better, I guess, which is harder. It's easier said than done, I guess, for somebody who is suffering from depression. But that's definitely something that people with depression do as well, as they victimize themselves.
Yes. Yeah. Komunyoung has basically tried to push him to like take action because he's been really all the actions that he's been taking throughout the drama, I think at first were just he would take them if it benefited Sangte. And that's why when she invited Sangte at first to like live there and Sangte beat Gangte up, she told him, she was like, your brother abandoned you, now it's your turn. Will you also abandon your brother, or will you let him lock you down your entire life? Don't end up being fickle about it like you were back then. And so she was referring about when he almost like left Sangte to die in the ice.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, Gomunyoung has been pushing him.
Yeah, well,
It was
sometimes
great.
people need a push.
Yeah, it was great. Like, even if it's hard.
Yeah. I think we're probably done here. We should wrap things up. At least I've said everything that I wanted to say.
So are we rating it now?
Anything else that I
think
wanted
we should
to
rate
say?
it.
Oh, I guess I just it must have been shitty for Komunyoung. Like, other than like being abused by her mother, she was literally treated as an object. And I think that's also why she treats Gangte like an object at first too.
Oh yeah.
Because that's like literally
It's what she's learned.
her mom taught her that people are.
Yeah,
They're things
that's a
that
good
you
point.
can possess.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Okay, then let's rate the drama. Do you want to start, Valerie?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Watch.
I also wanted to mention this. I thought it was silly how there had been like underlying things where it basically just showed Gangte kind of like more feminine, and like those broship moments when he would catch what's his face, the CEO.
Songing.
Yeah, and the CEO
No,
was like,
I
"Oh,
forgot
Oh yeah.
and I don't know. They just like
Oh, man.
everyone or a lot of people seem to think that Gangte was like gay. Yeah. They like even took bets like at his first job the reason why he kept like leaving, and one of them was that he liked women, and then he joked, he was like, it wasn't for women, it was for men. And then the
Yeah.
dude was like, oh,
I don't. I they did that a couple times, but I don't think it was a running joke.
I just thought it was silly.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. I guess there was some controversy. People wanted to have the drama like pulled off the air because of Gomunyeong um objectifying Gangtae.
That's stupid.
Which I guess, I mean, she did do that, but I mean, would they have pulled it off the air if Gangtae was objectifying Moonyong? Probably not. And
People are just upset that Komunyon was a strong, independent woman.
yeah, people were also
who took
saying
no
that she was rude and were upset that she was swearing and stuff, but I'm pretty sure there like the rating was appropriate for the drama for what was happening in there. So like if people didn't want their kids, hearing that, then don't let your kids watch it.
Yeah.
Like I'm
It's
pretty
not that
sure they
hard.
wouldn't rate it
Gosh.
like for everyone when, it had this content in it.
Yeah.
And then there were people that were upset about the subject matter, about, mental illness being displayed, which I think is really dumb because these things need to be talked about, especially when everybody has misconceptions and there's stigma and taboos around mental health.
If they didn't like it, then they didn't have to watch it.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Simple as that.
That's the case with anything. I mean, if you find something offensive, then you don't have to like it. But, I think that these days people are too sensitive to certain topics and certain things. And, like, that's more or less putting a, what do you call it? You're more or less censoring content in media by saying like, oh, that's offensive to me. Well, a lot of things are offensive. Like that's just how things are. Like people don't have the same opinions. Things that you find offensive, other people might not find offensive, and things that you don't find offensive, other people might find offensive. So that's just the nature of putting media out there for a large audience. Like not everybody's gonna like it, and not everybody's going to be okay with the things that they're seeing, and that's kind of up to the individual to, instead of calling for things to be canceled, then just don't watch it.
Yeah. God, that's just gonna make everything boring.
Yeah.
If you just if you make everything the same so that people don't cancel shit, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But anyways, moving on to ratings.
Am I going
Battery,
first?
yeah.
Okay. For watchability, I said 9.
Before you start our rating system, we rate it on five topics: watchability, plot/story, character/performance, OST/sound design, and cinematography/visuals.
Yes. And then we average them out.
Yep.
Okay. Watchability.
Yes.
I gave it a 9 because the first time I watched it, we watched it while it was airing, and it was great.
Yes.
But I didn't want to rewatch it right away because that would ruin it for me.
Makes sense.
Yes. Character. I gave it a 10. Those characters were great.
Performances.
character slash performances. Yeah.
You missed plot slash summary.
You know what? I put it in a random order. Banner.
Okay.
Jesus. The only character I didn't really like was Judy, but
Oh yeah.
the rest of it made up for her.
Mm-hmm.
Then OST and sound, I gave it a 7 because the OSTs were alright. No, just alright.
Banner just
Not my
death
style.
glared at you.
They're not my style, man. Not my style OSTs. Cinematography and visuals, I gave a 10. Everything was pretty. They did some cool editing things at the beginning. And also like the sequences, like with the one dude, the mayor's son.
Oh yeah.
That sequence where he was explaining how he ended up there was pretty cool.
They did that with
They
the
did
dude
that.
with the PTSD.
Yeah,
too.
that dude
Yeah.
too.
Well, they did that with like everybody. They did that with Sangtae first, I think,
Oh yeah,
where
I forgot
you
about
basically get a glimpse into what it's like to have that disorder.
And it might have not, like, obviously it's not gonna be like
The same for everybody.
everyone, but
Yes.
it's like a small glimpse, like a sliver of what they have to live with.
Yep.
Yes. So that was really cool. Also, everything was pretty, like the sets, the outfits.
You're right.
Yes. Plot story, I gave it a 9.5 because of that small thing with the mother. I feel like it could have been made better, but it was still good.
Yeah.
So my overall was 9.1.
Nice. So for me, watchability was a 9 because when I was also watching it while it was airing, it was great. But I don't know yet what the rewatch value is, and I think it's okay, but
You know, the thing also with me for the watchability was it gets pretty slow.
yeah, that too is that there are points where it gets slow.
Yeah, it's because it gets more serious in the second half.
Yeah, it does. Well, and also for the most part, everything that's included is necessary, but like with some of the other like patients that they help out, like especially the shaman lady, like that didn't really add to the plot. Really, it didn't progress the plot in any way. So there was some of that kind of happened here and there. Like also there was this like subplot where the director's son has been working there the whole time, and he's like the laziest and like most annoying of the staff at the hospital.
The one that caused Sancta's meltdown.
Like people don't really like him, and then like there's a big reveal about it, and it's like, what did that add to the story?
That was pretty dumb.
Really weird.
So there were like little things here and there like that was just like whatever. Like they could have taken that screen time and given it to like giving us more about Jesu or more about like Judy, or even the CEO dude. But so that's why I gave it a 9, because like it did kind of slow, like drag here and there, and that kind of goes into, that's kind of part of the plot and the story as well, which I gave it a 9.5 because of those things, and but mostly because like at the end when they give you this big plot twist reveal that the head nurse has been Go Munyon's mom the whole time, it like doesn't quite work. It didn't quite work for me. Even upon rewatch, like I was looking for clues that it was her, like from the beginning, and it just wasn't, like we didn't start seeing any clues until like more than halfway through, and it just wasn't done very well. It wasn't as successful as I would have liked it to be.
Yeah, I didn't think it was her. The only reason I maybe suspected it was because of that tweet we saw where someone guessed it.
Yeah.
But I didn't start like thinking it might be her. Like if I hadn't seen that tweet, the only thing that would have hinted at that was when she got cut because that lady, the actress lady, pulled the book away from her.
Yeah, she was weird about it.
Yeah. Also, there was like the only hint towards the beginning that her mom might have been in the hospital was when Gomunyoung and Kangtae were talking, like back behind the building or something, and the camera was like
somebody was watching.
Yeah, someone was watching them.
Yeah. And also, she did say, like, after her dad tried to choke her, when she went to go visit him, she did say, well, she basically was like, serves her right. Like, she shouldn't have come here.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was kind of weird. And so it was just those things, but I also didn't, like, get anything out. Like, I didn't know it was her. Like, even when I was rewatching it, I was like, I was trying to, like, see the little things, and I didn't get anything.
Yeah. For character / performance, I gave it a 10 plus because the performances were excellent and the characters were excellent. I didn't dislike Judy as much as like Benner and Valerie did. I thought, she was like that for a reason, and I thought that she was less annoying than most other second female leads. I think Oh Jung-se, who played Sangtae, should have been nominated for a lot more awards than he did, and he should win like every category that he's nominated for because he was excellent.
Well, award season's not over, so we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. For OST / sound design, I gave it a 9. The OSTs themselves were okay, but I think that they were very well placed with what was happening, and they did a really good job of making you get into the moments. So that's why I gave it a 9.
That's true.
Cinematography / visuals.
Cinematography.
Yeah, cinematography.
Yeah.
/ visuals, I gave a 9 because, like Valerie said, it all looked great, and those editing sequences were also great. The reason I gave it a 9 is because I wish that they would have continued to do that throughout the entire drama. They kind of did that for the first couple of episodes, and then like around the halfway point they like dropped off from that, and it may have been because the drama got a little bit more serious, and a lot of those sequences were more whimsical, but I feel like they could have like very well integrated that stuff into the like the more serious moments as well, regardless, and then it would have felt more cohesive, because I'm pretty sure they didn't really bring them back for the end, other than we saw it with PTSD, Ajushi, and then we had like the final they had overlays, or what do you call that?
What?
When they show like the stories that are being read.
Those are animations, Sandra.
I know they're animations, but what do you call that? They basically, instead of like showing people when they did a voiceover of the different stories that Gomunyon read, they showed an animation of what was happening in the story.
Yes.
So they brought that back at the end for the final one for the book that Sangtae and Gomunyon published. But that was basically it. So I would have liked to have seen more of that stuff kind of carried through all the way to the end.
That stop motion animation in the very first episode was great too.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Which was kind of like the background story of Gomunyon and Mungante.
Before we get into the story.
Yeah, which was great. That was a great opening sequence. Yes. So my overall rating is a 9 for Psycho, but it's okay. Yeah, better. Yes.
For me, I gave the watchability a 10. I actually did watch it a second time, and it was still great the second time, and I was able to catch on to more things the second time through, and so there's great. Plot summary, I gave it a 9 because I wanted to know how the mom got out of the lake.
Yeah, there were a lot of plot holes.
There was.
Someone
And
must have
I
fished
think-
her out.
Probably. It would have been great if they had, because when you, we did hear that her mom had gone to a psych ward, right? Or, well, we
No.
assumed that her mom was one of the patients in the psych ward because she was insane. But if they had been able to, like, pull off, like, her being the nurse, it would have been great because we just had the assumption that she was a patient and not somebody who was actually working there. And I just,
What?
yeah, because you would assume that she was a patient because she was insane, because she had like a disorder. And so if
Oh,
they
I
were
see what
able
you
to
mean.
like pull that off and like, because her being the nurse just came out of nowhere.
It did.
And so if they had done that better and they had pulled that off better, I think that would have been great. Because
yeah, I
we
agree.
were just assuming she was a patient and not an actual like.
I
staff
assumed she
person.
was dead.
I mean, yeah, there is that too. But yeah, I gave that a 9 plot / summary.
Mm-hmm.
And then the character / performance, I give it a 10
Mm-hmm.
because they were all great.
Yeah.
And then OST / sound design, I gave it a 10. I like the OSTs here too. I think my OSTs, my favorite OSTs are still from Hotel de Luna. I like those better, but these OSTs were still pretty great.
They were
good.
alright.
Yeah, I didn't think they were that great. I like
I
the
like them.
Hwayugi OSTs better.
Those were alright. And then for the cinematography, I gave it a 10. I thought it was really cool how they were trying to like show what it would have been like for these patients who had these disorders. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. They even did little
what's your overall?
They did a little whenever they would have flashbacks and stuff, they would do it like a olden then times type
Like a movie
thing.
reel.
Yeah. They
Yep.
had those little on the edges of the screen. It was blurry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my overall thing was a 9.8.
Wow, I can't with you people. Can you round it up to like full numbers?
Wow.
Why?
Because it annoys me.
You
It-
didn't
it
round
has
up
to be-
your Full House one.
It can be a half.
Wow. Fine, we're gonna give it a 10.
I
This
can't
is my
believe you're
favorite
making
drama.
me round Sandra.
What's so hard to believe?
Everything.
Wow,
What
I
if
can't.
you want me to lower my rating from a 9.1 to a 9? I can't
It's
believe
basically
you.
a
I
9.
cannot believe
Mine
you.
was a 9.12 and I rounded it down.
Okay, are you gonna finish it up now?
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's it for Psycho, but it's okay. It was great.
Yeah.
You should give it a watch.
I don't know what you're doing
I
if
was
you haven't
on
watched
when
it.
it was airing. I was going through some of the tweets about it, and there's like some people who were saying that this wasn't. I like this drama because it talked about like mental illness, and there has been some other dramas that have talked about it. I haven't watched a lot of them. I know that there was a drama that I kept seeing like in the tweets that people were saying that they did a lot better job and they were like more accurate because some of the mental health information was a little inaccurate, like some of the descriptions of the patients and stuff I did notice were inaccurate, but I mean it's a drama, so I wasn't really expecting it to be like 100% accurate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some dramas that they had mentioned, I forget what ones, and I do want to watch those, but of the dramas that I've watched, this has been the best like mental health drama that I've watched.
Yeah. I mean, Heal Me's pretty good, but
Yeah.
that's
We'll be watching
different.
that next.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that I liked most about this is that everybody got to grow.
Oh yes, there is some very nice growth development in it.
Yeah.
Ah, it was great.
Yep. It's what people call a healing drama. But that's all I got. Do you guys got anything else?
No.
Okay, then that's it for Psycho But It's Okay. Join us next time for another K-drama or K-film review. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at kdrama_weekly. Find us on Facebook at K-drama Weekly Podcast. And email us at kdramaweeklypodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can also visit our website, kdramaweeklypodcast.com, where you'll find all of our podcast episodes as well as some blog posts. And you can also see our mini reviews over on our YouTube channel, as well as some live footage of our recordings of our podcasts from now on.
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.